how to start a business. If you're looking to start a business right now and you're working from home, then there's 8 things you need to do. And I've got them written down here before you actually start that business. My channel is all about starting businesses, growing businesses, and creating entrepreneurship and also multiple streams of income. So if you don't want to miss out on new content, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications. So the first thing that you want to ask yourself when it comes to starting a business is, what do people always come to you for advice for? Because a lot of people, they want to start a business, but they don't know what business to start. And I can tell you, when I first started, people always came to me for advice on real estate, on property investing. So I started a whole business around property training. So we started to teach people about property investing, and literally took our knowledge and then we packaged that into a program that people could invest in, and it killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Why? Because it then found us the investors and it found us the property deals in order for us to actually transact those deals. So what do people always come to you for advice for? You want to write that down. In fact, type it in below. What do people always come to you for advice for? Do they come to you for advice on relationships, on business, on your personal life, or just some random things? You might notice some people that always come to you specifically for specific types of advice. Remember, business, when you started off, it's all about problem and a solution. So the first thing before you start any business, or you're struggling to start that business, always ask yourself, is it the right business to start? Is this what's creating traction right now? Is this something that people will go for? Because, so what I always do when I'm always thinking about what business to start, I'm always thinking about, what is it that people always come to me for advice for? And what I do is I lead with that foot forward, and that now becomes my core business, right? So number 1 is, what do people always come to you for advice for? Okay, number 2, what are you good at? So you must be naturally gifted at something. Maybe that's singing, maybe that's drawing, maybe that's communication, maybe that's public speaking skills, whatever it is, what are you naturally good at? Are you very gifted at one thing? And so what you can do, for example, there's a YouTuber called Shunga Jung, and he plays the guitar, and he's very, very good at playing the guitar. So he monetizes by putting his videos online, and then he was able to then get a lot of traction, and so that's how he earns income, by getting a lot of exposure. So what are you good at? Like, you must be naturally good at something. Maybe you're good at sports, maybe you're good at going to the gym, maybe you're good at working out, maybe you're good at fitness, maybe you're good at mindset or motivation. Whatever it is that you are good at, we can then turn that and package that into a business. And then what we can do with that is we can then put that online, and we can offer that product online. So these are some of the things you want to think about when it comes to creating an online business, and also creating any particular business. But I say online business now because everybody's using the online, they're using the internet, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the great thing about the internet, of having a business which is not just a local market, but a global market, gives you much further reach and penetration. So number 2, what are you good at? Okay, number 3, what are you passionate about? You must have something you're very, very passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about traveling. Maybe you're passionate about reading. Maybe you're passionate about films. There was this blogger that actually was so passionate about films, and he's watching films all the time. And what he would do is put a blog up, and he would watch films, and then he would then summarize these films. And so you could watch, say, Hunger Games in 5 minutes, or Avengers Endgame in 2 minutes. And so this traffic would have so much traction going to this website, and that website would then start generating what we call impressions and eyeballs. And of course, if you try and advertise in the Super Bowl, then 100 million people, his eyeballs are watching that, and it costs $5 million to advertise for 30 seconds. So what I'm saying to you is that if you're passionate about something, you could create a blog on that, you could create a community or a group on that, and when you have a lot of traction and a lot of interest and eyeballs, guess what? Now you can charge for sponsorship. Now you can charge for, like, for example, I could say, hey, this video is sponsored by Wealth Dragons, and then they would have paid me money to create this video, and then that's how I earn sponsorship money. So number 3 is, make sure that you take something that you're passionate about and you put it out there. Okay, number 4, what are you currently learning right now? So there's, again, another YouTuber who put a video online, and this person is learning, and literally just go live and they're reading a book for 6.5 hours, and they get literally hundreds of thousands of views. So these are some of the things that you can do. But what are you currently learning right now? Some people say to me, John, don't have to be an expert or the best at something to be able to do that. My answer to that is no, you don't. All you have to do is you've got to be really, really, really good at being consistent at what you do, and then you want to document that process. And in fact, there was another lady who wanted to dance, and she did a time-lapse video over 1 year. So she filmed herself every single day dancing, And then she put it all together, and you saw day one when she was dancing compared to the day 365, where she was this complete transformation. And what that does is when you show people the journey, then that's what you're learning. You need to document the whole process. So number 4, if you're gonna start a business, think about what are you currently learning right now. Okay, number 5, what do your friends say you should be doing? So I can tell you, when I started off as a speaker, now I speak all around the world, or before this whole lockdown thing happened, I do a lot of stuff on social media and online and on video. But I wasn't planning on being a speaker. I never really had that thought process. But one thing I realized was this, that a lot of people wanted to learn how I did things. And so they said to me, John, like, why don't you speak about it? Like, why don't you talk about it? Like, I think you're a pretty good speaker. Why don't you teach people about that stuff? And so I started off doing my first speaking gig, then my second speaking gig, and speaking in front of 50 people, then 100 people, then 500 people, then 1,000 people, then 10,000 people. And so, but that was from a comment that a friend made, say, oh my God, John, like, I think you've got some talent when it comes to speaking. You should pick up a speaker. So let me ask you right now, and you can leave a comment below, like, what do people always say that you should do? You know, a friend of mine, he's extremely funny, and I keep saying to him again, man, you should be a comedian, like, you should do stand-up. And I think that's one of the things he's now pursuing. So if you don't know what business to start, you should always base it around what you're passionate about, because if you don't, then you won't have the juice to follow through, right? So if you don't meet one of these 8 questions, and that's why I always say that you must answer these 8 questions first in order to come up with the business that you want to do. So number 5, what do your friends always come to you for advice for? Number 6, what products or services can you see that you go, oh my God, I could do so much better than that? And that's exactly what Richard Branson did. When Richard Branson, before he started Virgin Airlines, he saw how poorly some of the airlines, and he stood there with, chartering his own flights, and that's how Virgin Airlines was born. And so what things are you looking out there that you can go, oh my God, I can do so much better than that? Like a friend of mine, he when the car breaks down, you got to jack the car up. And he came up with this idea of, oh my God, because when his girlfriend tried to jack up the car, for some reason she couldn't, and she couldn't get the jack. So she called him and she said, oh my God, this would be so much easier if there was just like this electronic pump. You press a button and the jack goes up. And of course, a few years later, we were walking in a shop and he's like, oh my God, that's my idea. And so, there's some things that you could do better, that in the services out there, you go, oh my God, like if I did that, I would do so much better than that. That could be a business. In fact, that's how the whole Uber thing started, or the whole Snapchat started, when the creator was in the dorm room, and his friend said to him, well, I wish I could send this picture and the picture would just delete itself. And of course, and that's when he had the idea for Snapchat, where you could take a picture and the pictures would disappear over time. So what products or services out there can you see that you think, oh my God, I can do better? And that's number 6. Okay, number 7. Number 7 is really important. What do you do for a living? Number 7, I can tell you that most people right now who have maybe been in a job before, but they've kind of been let go because of some of the crisis things that's happening. Guess what? You still got IP. You've still got ways of doing things. Like, for example, let's say you're a graphic designer right now, there are websites you can go to that you can literally design work as a freelancer, right? So this is what we call moonlighting. There are lots of websites with skills. Like if you're an accountant, a trainee accountant, and you've been let go from your duties, guess what? You can now go and consult with all these different businesses and give them advice on the profit and loss. If you are a filmmaker, guess what? You can create videos for companies to put online. So there's so many different things that you can do that will allow you to, again, if you ask the right questions, you'll start to see, the cogs will start ticking, and then you'll see what types of businesses to create. So number 7, what do you do for a living? Okay, number 8, and this is the most powerful one. And by the way, before I give you this one, if you're loving the content so far, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and also give me a comment below and just tell me what it is that you do for a living, and also what's your biggest learning point so far. Leave a comment below and I'll come in and personally answer those questions for you. Now, number 8 is, what do you know that everybody needs but they don't know yet? Let me say that again. What do you know that everybody needs but they don't know yet? And so the reason why this is so important is because you want to start thinking about, like, if you look at Steve Jobs, when Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak was creating Apple, and Steve Jobs had this great idea of this app store, and you can have this computer and it links to all this stuff. And I can tell you that when Steve Wozniak, who was the co-founder of Apple, said to Steve Jobs, he said, Steve, like, are you sure this is gonna work? I mean, like, this is all really technological, it's a little bit confusing. And Steve Jobs' reply was, how do people even know what they want if they've never seen it before? And so sometimes you have that forefront of seeing what's going to be available. For example, when the whole crisis thing happened, what happened to online streaming? What happened to, companies like Zoom, where all the companies had to come online? Well, guess what? That's the trend. That's what someone saw, that eventually everyone's going to be online. The reason why I created an app, I created a piece of software called Memby. And this piece of software will allow coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, content creators, private tutors, anyone who's got some intellectual property, to package that knowledge up and turn that into a membership site so they can get paid on a monthly basis and to make passive income. Because I can see that, jobs that people, when they graduate from university, it's not going to be the job that they always want to do. Like my mum always said to me, become a doctor, become a solicitor, become an accountant. And guess what? I didn't want to do that stuff. Right? And so I became an animator, and then I got into entrepreneurship and became an investor, and then I listed a company on the stock exchange, and then I started doing stuff like this to really give back and to help the next generation to understand how all this stuff works. So again, number 8, if this is hugely important, and I want you to think about this. In fact, leave me some of your ideas below and just tell me, like, what do you think that people really need, but they don't know it yet, right? And if you can answer that question, I promise you will do very, very, very well. So again, if you enjoyed this, do me a favor, leave a comment below if you've got any questions. I'll personally answer those questions. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the new training videos that I create. And also as well, I'll leave a video here or here, somewhere around here, the videos, or on this side, depending which side this is, and that will give you more information on some of that. I got a video there that actually talks about the 10 online business models that you should be creating. So if you want to start an online business, definitely check that one out. But other than that, thank you so much for watching this. I look forward to continuing the conversation. And also, just so you know, I do have a private group, a private Facebook group. For those of you that are looking to start an online business, you need some help. I have my coaches in there helping and training people, and it's completely free. If you click the link below this video right now, you can actually join. Just if you join the group, we'll have to approve you, but when we're in there, we can continue the conversation in there. So I hope you found this useful. It's John Lee, the author of Business Hack. Bye for now.